get lit right now, motherfucker.
Let's get lit.
Let's do it.
All hell, rap motherfuckers get back, store rails. Kick back with a six-pack, yeah, we gon' do what he want, leaving others impaled. A podcast levels far beyond that. This ain't no bullshit, it's marsh pits and all that. Real talk with a still got tasted. Rat still spill jizz on your faces. Gone ape shit, blaze it and take it in. Rat talks with crack rocks and gin. Metalheads unite with a grin. Goddamn master man, that's real shit now. So open up your mind to smoke a bowl. A bunch of potheads getting stoned, you know how it go. It's the new show on the block. 100% uncut rock top.
Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of Rat Talk. I am your host, Matt the Rat Redardi, and this week the co-host is Amanda Cano. How's it going?
It's going good.
Lovely lady.
Thank you.
And then also this week our guests are returning guests to Rat Talk. It's Frank and Jesse.
What up?
If you've listened to previous episodes before, you know that they were in here talking about the gay community and doing drag and everything. The gays.
But now I'm here, so I actually get to ask the real questions.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I went back and listened to it, and I was like, kind of empty. And then I went back. Well, and then also you were on a previous episode as Horchata. Yeah. For Into Deep, another podcast, one of our buddies' podcasts, and she wasn't even there.
No.
Yeah, she wasn't even there for that. So I was like, let's get you guys back in here. Let's redo it. Let's get a better perspective on it, and then that way it won't be such dry air. I mean.
Yeah.
You know, last time there was a lot of, dead air in my opinion. So I'm shooting for better this time. You know, how have you guys been? How are you guys feeling?
Been good.
I've been really good.
Yeah, feeling
Things
good.
have been changing.
Yeah.
I think a lot's actually changed.
How was the holiday? I mean, I haven't seen you guys since Halloween. We just discussed this.
Last year.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much. But yeah, the last time I
Happy
saw
New
you
Year,
guys.
guys.
Side note, I hate those kind of people, but
People that make those jokes need a
I'll see you next year. Shut the fuck up. I'm back.
Motherfucker, you'll see me tomorrow. That's what you mean.
More bitter than ever, motherfuckers. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm actually
New year, older me.
No, I couldn't be happier, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
Lots changed. You know, me and Jesse's relationships just keeps. I feel like it just gets better and better. So
Hell
yeah,
It's gotten past that blooming stage and now that flowering stage where it's like
I don't know. I feel like we still kind of share those moments. I mean, I'm
Nice.
happy as fuck.
Likewise, yeah.
I can relate.
I mean, you guys have been doing some stuff, you know, in between, you know, the last episodes and here and now, you know, you've been doing more performances and everything.
More drag performances.
Yeah.
I was here when did I did my?
I mean, if it was October that we lost to each other here,
We saw each other in
At
October.
October at the party, then it's been
a minute.
Yeah, because I started
Damn, like
performing
half a
again
year?
back in April.
No.
This last
Okay.
year.
It's only
Not
been
quite.
3 months.
no. I mean, before that. I mean,
Before
when
that,
we,
yeah.
As far as when we did the podcast, yeah,
Yeah, the last podcast, I think it was about 6 months ago.
yeah, huh?
Around there. I think it was about in July we did it. We did ours.
Half anniversary right here.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, well, you know what? Actually, it took you guys have been the longest, at least. Like, you know, Gabriel was here not even 3 months after his episode, and then my brother's always on the fucking episode. So you guys are actually the longest guest that I haven't had come back. So it's good. You know,
I see.
It's nicer to have you back than
Anxiously
those motherfuckers.
awaiting
Keeping it
the
fresh,
return.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it feels like a brand new. Feels like I'm talking to brand new people right now.
Hell yeah.
Hi, my name's Matt. How's it going? Oh, I'm sorry, my name's Ratt. I'm not supposed to use my real name. No.
Oh.
Character broken.
Yeah, no. It's not like anybody that listens actually doesn't know my real name.
But
So.
anyway, how was your holidays, guys?
It was good. It was probably for me personally, and I don't know how Jesse feels, but it was a life-changing holiday for me.
How so?
Yeah. So I mean, growing up, the moment I had been out, you know, when I came out that I was gay with my family, my dad had always been like super bitter. I'm 25 now. I came out 18. It's been about 7 years, and things with me and my dad had always been super rocky. Even before I came out, like teenage years, like I already had like, oh, I hate my dad kind of shit. And then to just perpetuate it more is when I came out and things just really went to shit. And I mean, not too much later after that, I ended up moving out. And it's because we didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah, obvious reasons. You know?
Yeah. And then like about 4 years ago, we had he was drunk and I went to go see him. And he gave me this drunk speech of like he was like, what did I do wrong raising you? Like, I'm so mortified you came out like this. Like, I thought I raised you the right way, but like you're gay. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. Like blaming himself and then like making it seem like I was doomed because I was gay.
Yeah.
So I was like,
is he a religious man?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Catholic. He's in his 70s.
Old school,
He's
fucking yeah.
Old school Mexico. He was born and raised mostly in Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
Really old school like way of thinking. So
you're only second, not even first gen. Then were you born? In America?
I was born here. Yeah, he was from Mexico. Yeah, and both of my parents.
So
are
yeah,
from Mexico.
So technically you're first generation.
Yeah, technically I'm first generation. So I dealt with a lot. I mean, just to put in a perspective, my older sisters, from my dad's side, like we share the same dad. He had issues with my sister dating black guys. He was
all
like,
right.
Yeah, like he was that bad. And like, I mean, he never really came out and say, oh, I'm not racist. He would just deny it, but then he would always say things like that. But
Yeah.
Not a racist, but
he came around and like, I mean, she had ex-husbands that were black. I mean, it probably didn't help that they divorced already.
The situation, huh?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, I saw him turn around. But then come in that horrible conversation about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I like looked at him in the eye and I'm like, Dad, all I want is for you to like love me for who I am. I'm the same person. Like, like until you're able to look at me and say hi to me and my partner, this is the last time I'm going to talk to you. You know, I can't keep coming around the house, saying hi and bye and pretending like everything's okay.
Yeah.
When like you really like, I haven't been to family events in like since I turned 18 and I came out. I lost all connection with all my family. My nieces and nephews loved me to death. They looked up to me so bad, and then I just disappeared. And yeah, so that was how we had left off. And then I don't know what had came over him, something positive, but it was the holidays, and I was gonna go stop by at my parents for Christmas to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was with Jesse, and Jesse wanted to say Merry Christmas to my mom because Jesse and my mom are always cool. Like,
Okay.
they've been cool.
That's
They've been
cool,
cool
yeah.
for a while now. So, but you know, he wanted to say Merry Christmas, and my dad pulls a left field, and not only does he answer the door, and me and Jesse are there. Like,
Wait, so it's strange that your dad was there in the first place? Or?
No, that he even
Okay.
answered the door, because his way of doing it is like he stays in the room where the computer is whenever me and Jesse visit, and more often than not, we won't even actually walk into the house because my
Stand
dad doesn't even.
outside.
He wasn't cool with it, even
Yeah.
letting him in. But not only did he answer the door, because I had told my mom I'm coming over with Jesse, so my mom knew. So he answers the door, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Merry Christmas! Come on in." And then like I was like, kind of like, "What's going on? Like, is he gonna reveal something?" Like, I'm not.
I'm just like, just
hoping
go
that
in the
it's-
car. I think he's gonna kill you.
I'm hoping that
Yeah.
it's
I even
not
asked
like a.
you, do I even get out or do I just wait right here? I'm like, no.
Yeah, he
Last
wasn't
year
even
went
sure to
the
get
door,
out.
Like, because last year, it kind of changed too. Like last year when we went to his parents' house, like we went and said hi to his mom and stuff like that, and she came, and his brother and his girlfriend were actually there in the kitchen, and they were just sitting there talking, and so his mom was like, "Oh, come and say hi." Like, so she kind of like forced him to come say hi. So he like shook my hand, said Merry Christmas, and walked away. So that was like the first actual like time that he even acknowledged me. So then this year when he invited us in, even as I was
What
like
crazy
walking
was
in,
him looking genuine and asking like, "Come on in," like, and then he not only finally just didn't just shake his hand, but he gave him his like first official hug,
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
like just to see that, like after like we're talking like 7 years that I hadn't even fathomed the idea that he would ever come about.
Yeah.
And then he just kept throwing curveballs at me. Like, he's like, "Son, like, I know that I haven't acknowledged your birthday. Like, because I hadn't acknowledged his birthday. He hadn't acknowledged mine in the past 3 years since we had that
Since
falling
you had
out.
that
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't say happy birthday, happy Father's Day. Fuck that. Like, at that time, I had such a mentality where I was like, no, I'm not gonna acknowledge you because I feel like it's just fake, you know, like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, he's like, "Son, I'm sorry that I haven't really been giving you the attention for your birthday, and like I feel bad, and I want to invite you and Jesse to take you out for your birthday and have a dinner. And I'm like,
Okay.
holy shit!
Yeah.
Like, not only is this happening, but like now my dad is physically inviting me and Jesse in front of our face to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a picture of that night when we went to dinner, and it was like even just right now thinking about it, like gets me like worked up because it's
I mean,
it was a long time coming, and
Yeah.
it feels good to like
to
know that,
finally
like,
see it and
to
know
see it,
that,
and like
yeah,
for people out there that are like
to
going
actually
through
believe
similar
it this
shit,
time, yeah.
people that are like have been out in the closet or like struggling with a relationship. It's just a matter of time, you know. There's been like, I mean, it's been 7 years. I had lived a lie most of my life being in the closet all the way up until I was 18. So to like come out and then finally have family and my dad of all people to kind of like try to bring me back into the family, it's been great. So
Yeah,
That's
I felt like that was
amazing.
the biggest progress in our relationship as far as recent goes, because I've gone to his family events already for the past 2-3 years, and
And
the whole
don't
time.
your nieces and nephew call him Theo too, or
Not yet.
uncle or something like that?
No, like my niece, she's gonna be 9 this summer. So when Frank came around, she was barely like 5.
Oh, okay.
So she was still pretty young. So like she knows who Frank is. She knows that Frank's like my boyfriend. She still kind of like doesn't quite get it, but I explain it to her like what it is. Like, you know, I don't tell her like it's a gay thing. I just tell her it's a love. Like when two people care about each other, it doesn't matter. Because my sister's also a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
So she has a gay aunt and a gay uncle. So
she has the best
I mean, it's not going to be something that's, you know,
quadruple threat right
Yeah,
now.
you know,
it's
it's
like
not
the
gonna-
new norm now. Like this is your family. So it's like
she's going to grow up being, you know, tolerant
and
with
it's
everybody.
important that we
and-
explain that to our kids
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
nobody's born with hate. If we make this normal for kids growing up, saying, "Oh yeah, I have an uncle and he's married to my uncle," like
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
because I had told Frank like eventually like I know if I were to ask Aileen, like that's my niece's name, like, hey, like you can call
Wait, your
Frank
name's
Theo
Alien?
Aileen.
alien.
Oh, okay.
Alien.
I thought you said Alien. I was like, what?
Alien?
I was like, no shit.
She has a brother. His name's Predator. You'd imagine when they start fighting.
Alien versus
Aileen,
Predator.
Predator, shut the fuck up and stop fighting.
Yeah, and my
Don't lick
nephew's
him.
only a
Don't.
few
That's
months
fucking
old.
gross.
Yeah, so
The mom's
I mean,
name's Ripley. Sorry, dog.
eventually, I mean, in time, if like Frank was comfortable with it and like she's okay with saying, you know, calling him Theo, then that's a conversation later down the line. Because like, not that I ever like doubted Frank and I's relationship, but I didn't want him coming
I'm
around.
gonna drop the bomb now. I would like your nephew if you know. I wouldn't mind him calling me Theo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the bomb now.
Once he starts talking, like, you know,
You heard
once
it
he
here
starts
first, guys.
talking, like it's that, and I kind of figured like once my nephew starts talking, this will be like within the next year. Like he's already wanting to like walk, and he's only gonna
Oh,
be,
wow.
he's
Nephew,
like 8 months.
the niece's old younger brother, he's already like not even a full year, and he's like super long. He's wearing like 1-year-old clothes, and
Yeah,
Nah.
he's a bit.
he
Big.
stands on his own, like
Good genes.
practically
Yeah.
almost stands on his own legs.
He completely
already.
skip crawling. He was like, "Fuck crawling, I want to walk." So, like, he will not crawl. Like, he won't. He'll lay there, and he knows he's long, so he'll stretch his body out. But he won't like want to crawl. He'll want to stand up and move around.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So-
like Matt's niece,
Yeah,
Mila.
she's starting to stand up too.
I wouldn't mind if she called me aunt, but I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. She's not really talking too
No,
much.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
Yeah.
You know, he's coming there,
Kind
but
of like you'll cross that bridge when you get there, but like I don't care what she calls me. She's just freaking cute, and I'll regardless of what she'll call me, like I still want to be there for her.
yeah,
She'll know
Whether-
that she's loved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. It's amazing.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But
I
yeah,
think
I
that's
mean,
what kids need to know now. Like, it's not about like it being black or white or like a hate or a race thing. It just needs to be like love. Like, this is the person that you care about. This is the person that you're gonna be with the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what race or
Exactly.
nationality they are, what gender they are.
orientation.
Black,
You got to
white,
explain that it's
gay,
romantic
straight,
love
bi.
because
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my cousin and my brother, when they were kids, bless their heart, they're like, well, because they were like, I guess it was like they were watching Little Bill, and they addressed the concept of like marriage, and she's like, well, I love you and you love me, are we gonna get married? And we had to explain like, no, you can't marry your cousin.
We ain't in the South, girl.
We had to explain to them like, no, like this is like romantic love, like mommy and daddy. This is, it's not like this is, you gotta explain that to her.
I don't think they were taught that in the South then. I think that was
they might have skipped that combo right there.
That's where we went.
Oh man, I hope you don't have like like fans in the South. They're all like, oh, they're talking shit about us.
Yeah, I always fucking hate all the South, man. Shit, after they voted for Trump, dude, I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I have to start voting because
see,
obviously we're outnumbered.
Oh, my
As a
God.
quick side note, like the voting system is shit, but
Electoral college.
the whole electoral bullshit. You know, what I mean, the popular vote.
I don't even know what that means. That's how not into politics I am.
I'm not even that into politics, but I know like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Basically, the popular vote is actually like counting the votes of all the people who wanted what, but the electoral college is like your state has a certain number of representatives.
Yeah, so your state is supposed to vote and sway the electoral vote, and so once the majority votes in the single state, then if most people went with Hillary, then let's say, like for example, I don't know how many. This is just an example. Let's say California had 15 electoral votes, and then California votes and they go with Hillary. So all those 15 go with the popular vote, which was Hillary. But not all states have the same electoral number, a number of electoral votes.
Right.
So that's why they say the swing states, and like why if you win one state you get the advantage is because it's kind of like a trickle down. Like you don't really have a direct vote; it's more or less like an indirect vote. Because I mean, it's the popular vote, but within your state, and then once your state votes, and then all those electoral votes have to go to.
See, the only thing I heard in that is that your vote really doesn't count. Like,
I mean,
like,
more or less.
More or less, it doesn't.
I mean,
see, that's the problem. That just that.
So is that
just
the problem though? That is that we need to get rid of the electoral and just go by what we vote.
There was actually a move, if I'm not mistaken, that they wanted to maybe make. But I mean, it's something that's been going on for. I mean, pretty much since the U.S. was formed, like the whole concept of electoral votes. So I don't know if America would be willing to drop that shit, but. Anyways, I just wanted to.
It kind of just creates an inaccurate representation of the way the people are actually voting, which is the problem.
Yeah, but
I know. Yeah, like I said, it just sounded like none of your votes really count because whatever the top dog decides, that's what we get.
Me and Jesse had
it's like a popularity,
like a serious
contest.
conversation, like how, like I felt like maybe Jesse didn't understand the severity or the gravity of possibly not voting or voting for the wrong person, and I'm like, well, if Donald Trump wins, then he's gonna take as many steps as like restricting a lot of laws and things like that should be like equal rights, like for the gay community, the LGBTQ community, like trying to start a family. Like if we ever, because I know that Jesse wants to have kids at one point, and I'll be honest, I would want a kid myself too at one point in my life. So. But that would be obviously down the line. We would look into like adoption or whatever that may be. But just the idea that if he were to stick around for another 4 years after these first 4 years, we're looking at possibly never starting a family. And that's 8 years from now. I mean, I'm 25. Like, I mean, at that point, maybe I might be willing to start a family. But if he does damage,
it could take,
But I'm just hoping that I really hope he does really shitty these first 4 years, and like people kind of like really regret voting if they did vote for him.
It's really difficult to
at the
predict
same time,
because he's already gone back on some of the things that he said.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it was all just a strategy to.
Ironically, he's going back on things that are kind of more or less for in the Democratic side, but like. Still, he's an asshole, and that's not
he's still
and
putting
it's not enough to
fucking dumb people into important offices.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, like the most recent one that we were talking about, the Secretary of Treasury for Education, and like that whole fucking debacle. That was all over social media all day.
And they ripped her a new asshole.
Oh, they did, and I mean, but it's like examples like that, and like how many ex-CEOs of Exxon Mobil are there? Like I think 3, and. They're saying he has the most expensive cabinet of any presidency in terms of like each candidate's or each person's value, like from their prior like companies that they had, and
pretty much like this is all the money we got.
Yeah, and it's just like a blow to like, I mean, just a lot of communities, especially in the LGBTQ community, because you know that his vice president is taking. He's gonna be like, he said he was gonna take as many actions as he can take to stop any progress in the LGBT community as far as equal rights. And that was in an interview where, like, it was a white supremacist magazine interview, like where they asked him. It was like an article, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna take steps in defunding anything that we can in regards to LGBTQ. You know, that's against God and all this." Psycho
the
stuff.
fact that you say against God, that's you're bringing your religion into political matters that affect everybody,
Exactly.
which is absolute and total bullshit. And I was
Yeah.
born and raised Catholic, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm still like, it blows my mind, like the whole concept of freaking abortion. How like, yes, maybe my religion
it doesn't
is
take
like
much to be a good person, you know. Like that shit's wrong. Like to take away anybody's right as a human being is fucking wrong. Period. Like.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. You don't have to be a fucking genius, but then how these people are in fucking power, I have no idea. But
they know the right people.
Money.
yeah. I mean, it just shows you that this world is it's not really set up for success, and hopefully we can all open our eyes and finally see it for what it is, and change that shit, dude, because it's fucked up. Not a lot of people are really benefiting from this, and.
I think all we can do now is, because our generation and the ones who are older than us, they're already screwed. They're going to die off eventually. What we need to do now is instill in our youth, our young people. We need to make sure that they're educated, that they grow up not only
God, okay,
smart,
hold
but
on, Mussolini,
freaking-
relax. Talk into the microphone. Jeez.
Hey, this is a real topic.
Dude, I get so
We
heated
get
when I
worked-
talk about
I
this.
know, but
we get worked up AF.
You're gonna start twirling your head like a black lady, and no one's gonna fucking
I'll
understand
fucking
it.
go there. Okay.
That's
But-
okay.
Wendy Williams, man.
Oh, hell no. Don't compare me to that. How
you doing?
Man. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you
See, I
doing?
almost have the deep enough voice to pull it off.
Oh, God. I
Oh,
hate that woman.
shit.
Don't get me started on her.
Not even. Don't lie.
No, I
You
don't.
secretly watch her when I go to work.
Hell no. She's so mean.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of seeing a couple of her episodes.
I
Dude,
watched
every
her
time
too,
I
but
see
she's
it, I'm just
mean.
like, dude, someone turn this
She's
off
mean,
before I
but
blow my
she's
brains
funny.
out.
Yeah, wasn't I about to go on like an emotional tangent about like how we need to raise our kids?
Yes,
right?
no,
Oh,
I
yeah,
definitely
yeah, that's
agree.
right.
Wendy
Yeah.
Williams just changed the game for you.
I know my hate for her. My tangent was just
I
derailed.
know.
It was as big as her
Apparently,
hands.
Wendy Williams is way more important than that right now.
You guys distracted me. I'm
Drop
easily
everything.
distracted.
No, but I agree with you on. I think it's a combination of definitely reaching the youth at a young age where you not necessarily narrow their idea, but maybe just have them more open minded too. Like not. I mean, you still want them to be their own person and like come up with their own mind and their ideas, but you definitely want to kind of guide them. And
We need to raise them to be
prop.
almost fierce in
Not
the way
only
that they
that,
think.
like think about like the perfect male too that would come out of this. Like you teach a tolerant male, like you have a fucking straight dude that does ballet. Like
Yeah.
like
there are some. I mean, there are. I believe. I mean, I think I've seen.
no, but I'm saying more. Like it's gonna
Yeah,
be a common thing
We
where
teach
like people.
men who know how to cook and do ballet
Da-
and who
yeah.
are homemakers and who are
Yeah.
proud of being homemakers, and we raise our little girls to pursue things that are a male dominated field.
Yeah.
And hopefully when I have kids
know-
and they grow up, there's no such thing as a male dominated field or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
become
It's just-
doctors and lawyers and mayors,
I want
people in power.
raise our kids, especially our little
firefighters.
And
girls
then
though, to
I
be
think
fierce.
in connection with that, as the in between this new generation and like, I guess being as adamant as like speaking out when it comes to the elections, but now I think the elections kind of like pushed everything, and like I feel a lot of people are more political now.
Their eyes have been opened.
They understand the voting system a little bit more. They're more into politics. I mean, the fact that politics made its way into a lot of our social media. I mean, you can talk shit about social media and fake news, but on the flip side, this whole voting system and the whole voting process was very socially driven and like social media driven. And I think it kind of opened up a lot of people's eyes on how you really need to speak out and play your part, vote, or if you hear something that you don't agree with, speak out against it and don't just kind of like let it slip by. Like there's a reason why we have the First Amendment, you know, freedom of speech. We got to make sure we stress it as much as possible, especially now with Donald Trump trying to be like, oh, we need to regulate media. Like you realize you're literally doing the against the First Amendment. Like he's already right off the bat trying to fuck with the First Amendment, which is pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. But
on the flip side, though, we need to make sure that we are checking our sources, because there are people who are like, I heard on Facebook that Obama is from Kenya.
How about when you see an article that someone posts, how about clicking on it and actually reading it and not just reading the title?
The title,
right.
Because that'd be fucking great. Because I see that way too many times. It's just like often like, oh, the title of this article, let me repost. And then
the
I'll
government
comment,
finally admits to chemtrails in the sky. Dude, you how many times I've fucking seen that, and then I open it, I'm like, dude, this is just spam. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, you check your sources and be sure that you
hell
know
yeah,
what the
check
hell
your
you're
sources.
reading.
Be like, for example, I just recently saw the best fucking meme ever. It's a
meme.
A meme, a fucking great meme.
I know that's what I used to. For the longest time, I thought that's how it was
That's probably how the
pronounced.
Mexicans say it over in Mexico. Oye, cabrón, ¿viste ese meme? Bien chingón. No, sorry, my Mexican came out. But yeah, there was like a back and forth kind of argument between these two people on Facebook, and it's like, so glad Donald Trump. So glad I voted for Donald Trump. He's finally gonna take care of Obamacare and get it out of here.
I saw this.
And then, hey, someone talks crap, and he's like, "How can you vote? You know, millions of people are gonna lose health insurance. Are you really okay with that?" He's like, "I'm okay with it. I'm covered with the Affordable Care Act, and so I'm good. You know, he's gonna take care of Obamacare. I have my Affordable Care Act. I'm gonna be good. Everyone else is screwed." And then, obviously, I mean, if you're listening and you know what, if you're smart enough to know, the Affordable Care Act is fucking Obamacare.
It's the same damn thing.
It's just a different. Obamacare was a term that was created by the Republicans to give it that connotation of like, oh, it's specifically Obama, and he's just trying to dig his hands deep into the healthcare system and screw everything over and and make everyone pay for everyone's health insurance. It's like, dude,
and your Republican who's spewing hate against Obama would say, "Oh, Obamacare, no,
Obamacare."
never."
And so the dude never replies, and then someone comments like, "LOL, like, you think he's gonna respond?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't think so, man. He would have if he was, he would have done it by now." And then they're like, "Oh, this guy should totally delete this post. I'm surprised it hasn't been deleted yet." And this was like an hour after the feud had ended between the original commenter. It was just hilarious. But see, that's a perfect example of people just being ignorant to like the fucking idea of, you know, like they hear one word and it gets thrown around, and they don't actually do this like their homework and study and what is Obamacare like, and what does it do, and who benefits out of that and who pays for it. Like, do your fucking homework before you start talking shit about something. Yeah. If you did your homework and you laid the facts out, I'm not the type of person that's going to argue back with bullshit. If you have all these facts, geez, all right, I will accept that I was wrong. But you just got to slap down some facts. I mean, me coming from like I've had some speech and debate experience. So like speech and debate, you can get into full fucking arguments and not say a single cuss word and not say like any bad things. It's pretty awesome. Like I got into a very, very heated debate between I believed The Simpsons was better than Family Guy. They would just they give you in high school, they give you topics and you're supposed to argue your side, and you don't know what side you're gonna be on, and then you get 5 minutes to prep. I was on the side of like The Simpsons is better than Family Guy. And I got in this really heated argument with these kids from Bosco Tech.
Oh, God.
They were like, I mean, the dude was pale. Like, he was like translucent more
Sounds
than
like
pale.
a Bosco Tech boy.
And like fucking like the Third Reich kind of white boy. But anyways, he was just really,
like one of the doctors that operated on.
Yeah, very stern too. And then he was like twisting my words here and there. And like I came up on because like you get 2 times to speak, and I was just throwing like. First of all, this guy's changing my words. He's completely not listening. He's not in the game. He's not. I was just arguing, but I didn't say a single cuss word, and it was so weird to argue like that, man. But I learned to like do your homework, read the facts, like not just argue out of bullshit and like just say your side of the what you believe, but not be able to back it up. Because I mean, if you can't say something and be able to back it up, then you're full of shit.
You have to be able to
basically.
back it up with facts and not
Yeah.
just this is my opinion and this
This
is
is
how
just
I feel.
yeah.
Because once you just
I
say
mean,
that's
of
how
course
I
there are emotions that you can
Of
kind
course
of
there's
throw in
emotions
there,
involved,
but
but if that's the
know
only
some
thing backing
fucking
it,
facts.
then you're not credible.
Yeah. But
But yeah, Simpsons are better though. That's
Yeah, that's just
going in
fact.
there.
ooh, is that a debate? Nah, yeah, no, I totally agree.
I like Family Guy. I totally dig like Seth MacFarlane's his. Especially, he always throws nods to like musical theater, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. And then him, Brian and Stewie, their whole they go on like their adventures. What's it
adventures.
called? Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very very
Almost
much
like a separate show with them too.
Yeah, I feel like
They've
their
had full episodes.
their
of just
characters
them
are
too.
their characters are very like intelligent, so it's interesting. And there's that one episode where they're locked in the bank, and that can be like a 2-person show right there. Like
Yeah.
I can totally picture the way it was written. I can picture that being on stage.
Yeah,
So I think like it does have its moments, but I feel like The Simpsons.
They laid the foundation for any and
Yes.
a lot of the
Did we
jokes have
really
already
just
been-
start the full argument
Hell
about how
fucking
fucking
yes.
like,
That's how it is right here.
All right, well, I think that
That's a
calls
whole
for a
other
break
thing.
then. All right, we need to fucking cool off and get back on track. So we're gonna go ahead and take a
We'll be
break
back with more Simpsons versus
yeah.
Family Guy right after this commercial break.
We're actually gonna take a break with Childish Gambino. This is Frank's pick for the day
Yeah.
for the episode.
Hey, Childish Gambino, our soon-to-be Lando,
Lando
Calrissian.
Calrissian,
Fuck
fucking
yeah,
awesome.
super stoked.
Hell yeah! So
Totally good pick.
So I'm totally yeah. We can,
Now when he
we could
rap-
fucking
When
relax on
Childish
this. All right?
Gambino raps, now all I think of is how
Lando's
Calrissian-
gonna fucking rap you
with his fucking cape, dude. He's gonna flap it around.
Yeah, flap that shit.
Oh, we're good. All right.
I wanted you to know that I am ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. I wanted you to know whenever you are around. Can't speak, I can't speak. I wanted you to know that I am ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. I wanted you to know whenever you are around. Can't speak, I can't speak. I know what your boy like. Skinny tie and a cup tight. He go and make breakfast. You walk around naked. I might just text you. Turn your phone over when it's all over. No settling down. My texts go to your screen. You know better than that. I come around when you least expect me. I'm sitting at the bar when your glass is empty. You thinking that the song's coming on to tempt me. I need to be alone like the way you left me. You start calling, you start crying. I come over, I'm inside you. I can't find you, the girl that I once had. But the sex that we have isn't half bad. Text say that it's not fair. Let's go, boy, he's not here. And I'ma flirt with this new girl. And I'ma call if it don't work. So we fuck till it comes to conclusions. All the things that we thought we were losing. I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place. Cause I want you to know that I'm ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. I want you to know whenever you are around. Can't speak, I can't speak. I want you to know that I'm ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. I want you to know whenever you are around. Can't speak, I can't speak. It's late night Thursday. I know that you heard me, but you don't want the same thing. Well, two can play that game. So I'm chilling with my girlfriend, but she not my real girlfriend. She got a key to my place, but she not my real girlfriend. Stupid, so dummy. Say the wrong thing and wrong girls come running. I'm paranoid that these girls want something from me, and it's hard to make a dime go 100. And my dude freaking out over a worst fate. She on time, but she late for their first date. Cause he went and tried out a new condom, slipped off in a threesome. Good problems, right, wrong. Asking them if she wanna play games with the Super Smash Brothers, but none of them you. I miss the sex where you kiss whenever you're through. 69 is the only Jennifer 2. I was wrong, but would you have listened real shit. We used to hold hands like field trips. I'm a jerk, but your dude is a real dick. I read his posts on your wall and I feel sick. He ain't cool, he ballin' all that, but he just a fake nigga who blogging all caps. You couldn't wait today. I'm going straight for your thighs like the cake you ate. I give a fuck about the niggas that you say you hate. You know that I'm the best when I'm a fake Sinead. I'm the best that you had, face it. Jay and Keisha are related, racist. I give you money, then you Bernie, then you made off. She ain't a killer, but she fucking blow your head off. I know he wondering what the fuck you hiding. That we dated like rats about Bin Laden. Hey yo, fuck this. Are we dating? Are we fucking? Are we best friends? Are we something in between that? I wish we never fucked, and I mean that. But not really. You say the nastiest shit in bed, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right, and now we're back, and it is time for Amanda's segment. Woo. I know. I was just telling them right now that I should probably make a theme for you, Ryan, and Vince. So that way, so when it's
or just like a transition sound.
So like exactly
Something
a transition
like,
sound.
We'll work on it. We'll work on some fun little sound bits, bits.
Yeah, you gotta have more segments though. So we'll probably do like 5, and then I'll cut up. I'll save the episode. Well,
you should do the old hip hop horn.
Oh, dude. Well, yeah. Like once I get a sound, like once I do that, then I'll bring in the sound effects and everything.
I'm such a lame. I downloaded the app, so like when shit gets hyphy, I'm like, well, hey guys, let's get fucking hyphy.
Oh God.
They're just filling for me right now, man. I'll just point at you.
I'm super down. I will fucking do it for the rest of the show.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna use it. At least
you never know when it's
you
a
never
good time.
know. I know, right?
Y'all finished?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's
Okay, jeez, go ahead. Go.
I was enjoying my hip hop.
Yeah, I was laughing at you guys. So Jesse,
Yes,
Edie Drag.
of course.
I fucking love drag queens.
It's fun. It's
Okay.
expensive hobby, but I love doing it.
Oh yeah, I'd assume it'd be expensive. It's expensive enough being a girl. I can only imagine what it's like going through the effort to actually like transform into a flawless drag queen.
Because I mean, makeup's expensive. So if you're like
Hell
one of
yeah.
the girls that does your makeup all the time, makeup's already expensive. But then I don't have hair. I don't have tits, so I gotta purchase all those.
Right.
Wait, you actually have to purchase hits, like.
Yeah.
Well, like you
Is
can
that
buy
because
like
usually
breast flaps.
I just thought it was just like really good makeup, to make
Well,
it
you
look
can
like it.
Contour them, like you can like contour.
Yeah,
on
you
You
can
don't
do
know
the
what
makeup.
contouring
Yeah.
means. It's highlighting and shading to create.
Yeah,
shape.
like I said, I thought that's what you just did. I don't know. You actually like bought stuff to
I mean,
stick
you
in
can,
there.
but like you can buy like silicone. Like
If it's like a dress that's
stuffings.
gonna cover everything, you could just kind of cop out with a bra and like fill it in.
Yeah.
There's some queens that they'll actually tape.
Yeah,
like
they'll
if
tape
they're
it
a
up.
little thicker and they got more.
They got
more
the
meat.
moobs.
Yeah, they got the moves.
Together.
they'll tape. And
Wait,
to
so I
create
can
the
make
illusion.
myself a pair of tits? Like,
Technically,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I could probably
I'm
do that. I
fucking
could probably
down.
pull that off pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can get what's
Tutorials.
called like a breastplate.
Yeah.
Breastplate,
It's
breast
literally
flap.
like a
Breastplate.
big ass bib with tits on it.
Essentially, yes.
Cool.
Just goes around your neck and
One of the queens that you perform with over at was it C Friends?
Yeah.
She's kind of like a regular. She has a really good. She happens to have a breast flap that matches her skin tone, I think. So it's like
because you put makeup
it's
on it to
fucking
kinda match your
seamless.
skin
So it's like
Ooh.
it's a trip. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's makeup, and then I know a lot of queens.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, they'll wear some type of like
Yeah.
necklace,
Choker.
something,
Cover
a
the
choker
lining.
to cover it. So it's all about the way you style it.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine how expensive that must be. But
They run, I think. I mean, the one I was looking into getting was like I think like $600.
ooh, girl.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
but at least my tits would look right every time. So
Hell yes.
it's an expensive investment if I were to purchase those though.
Oh yeah, it would be a good investment.
Yeah, but I don't do it enough to where I'm like, oh, I need them. So I try to do shows at least 1 to 2 times a month or every other month because it is expensive. Like buying my like outfits, like buying fabric is cheap. Like I can buy $10 worth of fabric and that's enough.
You
for, like,
you sew your own outfits and costumes?
No, I have a friend that sews all my stuff.
Okay, even better.
So yeah, but I gotta pay him to sew it. So it's like I pay $10-15 for a couple yards of fabric, but he has to style it and customize it to my body. So that's where the money goes into place because I spend anywhere from $75 to $100 per outfit to be custom made for me. So every show, every show when I first started performing again the last year was a new outfit, like every time. And then these shows now that I've been doing, you don't just do one number, you do 2 numbers. So that's 2 outfits, 2 different looks. So that's where it's like I can spend anywhere from $200
What's
to
the
$500.
fabric that you use too? Like, does it depend?
Depends. Like I get like sequins fabric, I get like animal print, stretchy, weird, like metallic-y looking stuff.
Sequence or sequin fabric?
Sequences fabric.
Sequences. One of our queens on RuPaul's Drag Race, she had a moment where she thought, "Oh, it's a sequence dress." Like, no, you mean sequin.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
sequence. Like, well, what is it? Is it sequence or sequin? Because sequence is plural technically, but you don't call it a sequence dress. You call it a sequin dress.
Yeah.
Tomato to me.
I know
exactly. Is it?
You see it going right over your
It
head.
sounded right to me when she said it. I was like, that's cool.
That's what you bedazzle with, right?
No.
No, it's like that fucking like it looks like fucking fish scale kind of shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See, I know the dude terms though. Like,
Yeah,
I got you, dude. I got you,
translate.
bro.
It looks like
There you
fish
go.
scales.
Thank you.
I-
Thank you.
cheers
I know.
to that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to
I'll be-
explain it. I was like, I don't know. It's cute. It's sparkly.
They're like little mirrors. Like, that's how I would describe it. They're like little button mirrors, but he explained it better.
Fish scales.
Like fish
Yeah.
scales. Like, you know how like you
For
run your
eyes
hand and
and
it flips
arts and
colors
crafts.
sometimes?
Yeah.
Arts and crafts. How about your shoes? How do you get your shoes? Where do you get your shoes from?
I get them from. I've actually been buying them at Torrid because I have like fat girl calves. So I got like a pair of thigh highs, and it's so hard to buy like long boots when you have fat legs starting from your kinkle. So they're made for big girl legs. So that's been my spot lately. I've been buying
I
a lot
might need to
of
look
my
into that.
shoes.
I'll go to Forever 21 or Charlotte Russe and I'll try on thigh high boots, and it's a no
Those are for
go.
like anorexic girls.
Yeah, they don't fit me. I might need to look into.
Yeah, I used to fit into Forever 21 clothes when I was 21. So that was like 8 years ago.
Not so forever, right?
Yeah, that was not.
Not so forever.
Forever 21. I don't fit in
Yeah.
this anymore. Now I go to Forever 21. I still shop at Forever 21 when I go to the plus size section. Everything's stretchy.
I thought you were gonna say
Yes.
Forever 22 or something like that.
No, it's just everything's
Forever
stretchy.
28.
No, I can't even do Forever 21
Oh, the
anymore.
rip off the Route 21.
Oh yeah, Route 21.
Have you guys heard of or been to a Route 21?
I've heard of it. I haven't.
Ironically, I feel like when we first started going was a couple years ago, and like it was
Yeah.
a smaller, and they kind of had like cheaper clothing, but you would find every once in a while you could find good clothes, but then now it's like it took off, and like that's where we shop now too.
Yeah.
Route
Because
21.
They don't just stop at an extra large. They go up to like a 3X, I think. So
Hey, they're not
Nice.
being skimpy then with their
Yeah,
fucking
no.
material.
yeah, they're like, we
Yeah.
got enough
And it's
fabric
cheap
to
as shit. You
clothe
can find
everybody.
I got some fucking boots for like, I mean, not even some high tops for like $4.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. Just got to make sure it's
Damn.
made right, because I went to this one store. It was a like Fashion Q, I think, at the mall, and I bought a couple.
Fashion Q.
I bought a couple tops there, and they were so cute. And I washed them, and the entire pattern
Wait.
that was on it was gone.
There's Q and
Well, yeah,
then
the-
Fashion Q.
Oh no,
Because the Q was upstairs
just go to
by
Q.
Both of them. They're the
Oh, they're the same thing, right?
Yeah, they're
It's just
the
weird
same
how
thing.
they throw away that little fashion.
Fashion Q. But yeah, I had bought tops there, and I washed them, and their patterns aren't there anymore.
stuff like that from cheap stores. You need to either hand wash it or just know it's a one-time use.
Yeah.
You paid $2 for that shirt. It's
bought a
You're gonna
pretty
get $2 worth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 2 days.
2 hours.
2 hours.
You spilled something on it, the
Oh,
whole thing
God,
starts
I
to
know.
deteriorate.
His makeup, what trips me out most is when Jesse does his makeup. His
Oh.
makeup
Yeah.
is usually really good, and
What trips you out about it? Just
just the
That
way
is-
that he has like the time it takes, and like
Uh-huh.
all the. I mean, if you really want, like, because drag makeup is more extreme and out there, and like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like a statement piece in a sense. Like you're a character, so
because you're carving your face essentially.
yeah, in a sense, to make it look. I mean, the more masculine face, you want to make it look more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure you highlight the right parts, and he's pretty good at it. And like, he gets
Mastered my face.
you get good makeup too.
Yeah. He's referring to my Mariah Carey line.
I'm waiting.
For Christmas. Thank you.
Oh, you bought the Mariah Carey.
Yes, I
line.
had to. I got my lipsticks, my eyeshadow palette. I'm good to go. So Mariah numbers, I'm set.
Yeah, I swatched it. I wasn't too hyped on it, but
It's more like nudes and natural colors. So for drag, it's kind of hard because you like don't go nude and natural. Everything's like extreme.
Mm-hmm.
So I still haven't used my Selena lipstick. That's been
I
sitting in
got
the
that
box.
for you.
I
Yeah, I
know.
hooked it up.
It's sitting in the box, and I'm like, do I want to use this?
Oh, I used all of mine. I feel like, what's the point? I'm just gonna have it. I'm gonna look at it, or I'm gonna use it. But then accidentally, like it melted a little. I had it in my pocket when I was working. I totally forgot that I had it in my pocket, and when the lipsticks melted a little bit, I was like, so I have to fix it. I'm gonna like use a lighter and like try to like glue it back together. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Like take a lighter, melt it together, and put it in the freezer. That's how you fix your lipstick in case. Nah, Matt's looking at me.
Okay,
like,
yeah, just in case I ever need to fix my
Your
lipstick, at least.
ever melt.
Yeah, you know, I'm always prepared. Thank you for that.
No problem, babe.
Totally.
But I did want to switch gears and talk not just about the exterior of drag, but the inside. What's in your heart. That's cool, dude. Tell me about your drag family.
Well, my drag family is
Oh, wait. Drags have a family, first of all?
Yeah, let's
family.
okay.
So like,
Explain
It's-
what a drag family
Well, yeah.
is, and then go into
so
yours.
not everyone comes from a drag family, but like it's kind of like that motherly person that kind of takes you under their wing, starts you in drag, puts you in drag for the first time. I kind of already did drag one. It was like I was what do you consider like a Halloween
queen versus there's either Halloween queens or Pride queens, where
So-
that's the first time they come out in drag.
I started in Halloween, so I did Halloween like that month of that. I did it like 2-3 times, but I went to a Halloween party, which that's where I met my drag mom, because she was like, you know what, let me help you, because I'm pretty sure I looked a hot ass mess. So my drag mom, her name is Scion. So at that time, Scion is known for like having lots of drag daughters. So taking lots of people under her wings and starting them out. So I'm like I wouldn't say one of the originals, but I've been around for a long time. I met her when I was like 21, 22. So I've been doing it for almost like 8-9 years now. So it's fun, and I love doing it. So that's where like I started from Scion putting me in drag, and I would sit there and watch her like do my makeup or do other people's makeup, because she would do 4 to like 7 people's makeup in one night just so we can go out to a party. And all my drag sisters were in one little studio apartment. We're all getting ready, and it's fun to like hang out with everybody and like see who all these people are. But now, if you ask me who my drag sisters are, I have no fucking clue, because this bitch has so many drag daughters and has disowned so many of them. So I'm just one of like the old school ones that like I still like. That's my drag mom. Like when I see her, it's nice. Like
She was more like a foster mom. You just take on a whole bunch of babies.
pretty much, it was like she found that little stray kitten on the side of the road. She's like, "Oh, I'll take you in," and then once she's over you, she's like, "Okay, you can go now."
But I mean, hey,
Wait, so it's actually like, I mean, is it like a system that you get, like an unwritten
no, it's
thing?
just like a kind of like a sorority thing. Like you have like that
Yeah.
house mother
It's
that
a
brings
support
all these people in.
system.
support
Yeah, it's like
people.
it's like a support
But
system.
I was that stingy sister
Yeah.
that didn't share
Okay.
shit with anybody. So I paid for all these wigs. There's no way, bitch, you're wearing it for the night and sweating all up in it and messing it up. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
I mean, I was like, you need a pair of eyelashes. I have an extra pair, but if you need an extra wig, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
I mean,
like
there's-
7 in my bag. But
There's a difference between sharing eyelashes or be like, hey, yeah, you can borrow this blush or whatever,
Yeah.
versus like, here's my $300 weave. Like,
yeah, that's not shareable.
right.
But yeah,
Wow, so it's also like very territorial. I mean, well, you already said it wasn't cheap. You know, it's very
yeah,
expensive.
it's not that
and
it's
so
territorial. It's just you know
an
what
idea.
you pay for. You don't
just to give an
wanna
idea, then how much do you spend to get ready for a show?
If
Well-
you, I mean, even though it's already bought, but if you like take into like everything that I've paid for that I'm wearing,
Yeah,
I could
everything that
say
you're wearing. How much are you worth on your fucking night?
at least like $300 to $400.
Fuck yeah.
Because you know I got like $50-$60 shoes. I'm wearing like 2 pairs of nylons that cost like $14 each, so that's $28 right
Pay
there.
$14 for your nylons?
These are like expensive dance tights. They're like they hold your thighs together. They're thick. They don't just like when you touch your nail, they don't just fray right away.
Oh, I need some
So
of
they're
those.
like really expensive dance tights.
They hide your junk pretty good.
Yeah, they're
Tuck
really
you in
tight.
pretty
So
tight.
discount dance is where you want to go for stuff like that.
Tucking is a whole other process. It's not
Yeah.
just tights that can hold
And then
it
it's
in.
like, then I got like the corset that holds you in. That costs
corset, that was
another
like-
$30-$40, you know. And then my custom made outfit that's anywhere from $65 to $100. Wigs that are anywhere from $45 to $90 or $200. They go, you know, way up there.
And then
All
every
my
piece of makeup.
that I put
Yeah,
on.
and all the
My
makeup.
jewelry,
The jewelry.
you know,
Jeez.
nail polish. I mean, that's only a few bucks, but it's like it all adds up. My eyelashes.
Sometimes you can.
So, I
we
mean,
found
yeah,
some pretty
but-
good snags in terms of jewelry for a decent price, and
Yeah.
like at the Monrovia Street Fair, there's like this jewelry place that I know Jesse loves to go because they got big pieces or like, you know, just really cool earrings and stuff
for
like
like
that.
less than $10, and it's only for the night. It's in a dark club with one.
You need something
little
that
light.
can, yeah.
It looks pretty from far away, but if you get up close, you know that shit costs $2.
Yeah.
But it
Right.
looks
If it's just for the sake of a performance, like
Right, you need the illusion. You just
It's the
it's the illusion.
the
but
illusion. And you know
overall,
what?
for the most
Drags
part, yeah, it's
were,
pretty
like,
fucking expensive.
We're the kind of people that will come up with a look, a concept. We can rummage through a freaking bag at the Goodwill, and I can make something out of it. I actually have bought stuff from the Goodwill, and I've worn for my performances. So
So it's about being resourceful.
yeah, so it's like it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna buy this because it's expensive. Like I try to be pretty cautious with what I'm spending because I know it's not something that I'm like making a career out of. It's a fun hobby that I love to do.
It's cool, like, but I mean, you get your tips, especially like on a good night.
Yeah, like, you know,
So-
of course, like I try to go to
Obviously, it doesn't pay for much. I mean, but for what it's worth, I mean,
pays for my drinks for the
yeah, I
night.
was gonna say
Yeah.
it covers the drinks pretty
Right.
well.
I know. You want to go out and have a good time, perform real quick, free the entire night, motherfucker.
It kind of sounds like comedy, actually, from
then
what
they-
Ryan
yeah,
says.
people will buy
Exactly. You know what?
People will
Actually,
buy him drinks too,
you know,
so
maybe
it's cool.
maybe I should actually get you in here for an interview with my brother too, to compare the two, because that actually does sound a lot like how comedy is. You know,
Yeah.
like they tell you like, okay, you're gonna go on after this person. You have this amount of time. You know.
No, I mean, I was telling him like I compare that shit to like, I mean, it's literally a performance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
To like, I show up there's check in, name checks. Make sure you're ready. Whose name is up? You go up, you perform, you kill it, and then hopefully you did good. Or if you, or maybe you just were a little boring up there. But I mean, for the most part, Jesse's kind of kept it pretty strong, and I got to give
you
it
know,
to him.
this is like one of those odd comparisons too.
because
Comedy and drag. You know, like it's been done with comedy and believe it or not, wrestling, like WWF, WWE.
Really?
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bill Burr have a 2-part episode
Okay.
on Stone Cold's podcast talking about how just comparing, comedy to wrestling, how
Yeah. Yeah.
it's basically the same. They give you a time slot, like they give you a time slot, you show up and you put on this act, this performance.
It's a
and
persona.
Then, yeah. And then depending on, the crowd reaction, like you either get more nights or
Yeah, they'll book you
they'll
more.
book you more and
The
put you
tips
up.
get better.
Yeah. Or you get moved up to the main event of of whatever night.
Yeah, like
whatever.
you may be like the first drag queen to perform, but then maybe you get a little more attention, and they'll put you second to last or even last. Jesse's
building a
second to
name.
last or right in the middle, and I mean, you usually either go right in the middle or second to last. Because I mean, coming from like as much like I try to be, like unbiased, like just I know that's my boyfriend. I guess I gotta, of course I'm gonna cheer him on, but I see. I also read the crowd, and I've noticed, the crowd always feels him, and like because he always goes up there with. I've noticed that he's really good with his lip syncing, where a lot of other people will kind of forget that, or kind of like they'll focus too much on the dance and the money. When you got to find that sweet spot of like performance and lip syncing, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is it's a queen. Or a persona of a drag queen up on stage that's gonna sing her heart out, quote unquote, and make it seem like she's doing a performance and she's singing.
Yeah.
So-
Lip syncing in itself is an absolute art. Like hell, I'll try to lip sync in the car, or I'll look at myself in the mirror, and it's like that shit is hard to make it look like it's coming out of your own mouth.
I'll actually sing in the car, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I sing in the car too, but like in the times where I've like try to like look at myself like lip syncing, and it doesn't like it's an art form because it's so difficult because you really have to over exaggerate your mouth to make it look like those
What you're
words.
saying.
Yeah, those
Jesse-
words are coming out of
Jesse
your
usually
mouth.
is like his lip syncing is always on point, and he's always kept the energy. So
I'm like
from a
really
retrospect,
picky
it's really cool.
with my lip sync. Like for the most part, like I know these songs that I'm doing. Even if I don't know all the lyrics, I'll sit there and I will look up the lyrics like 2 to 3 weeks, even the week before, and I'll sit there and like
You'll study.
I'll study pretty much. That's what I do, and to me, it's like that's something that comes natural because I've been in like band and stuff like that, and since middle school and high school, and doing marching band, where you pretty much have to study your music and you're learning this field show. Because I was in marching band, and it's like I don't have the music in front of my face when I'm marching on a field, putting on a show, running around the field. So I have to memorize all that. So for me, that's my same mentality when I do a drag performance. I have to memorize my song, memorize my lyrics, because when I go up there, I don't have my phone to look at the lyrics.
Right.
And I've seen queens where they forget the lyrics, and that's fine. Like, I mean, it's happened to me only because a friend was fucking screaming her fucking lungs out.
I didn't even notice that much, to be honest. You still like
nobody noticed, but I
I'm
noticed that I fumbled some of the words because my friend, she screamed so loud that it like pierced over the music, and it like threw me off. Like, it's not that I didn't know the lyrics; I had memorized the song. Like I can say it now, but she like threw me off, and I'm like, what the
She's
fuck?
a
Like,
very,
so
very,
loud.
very powerful voice.
So that's the only time I maybe have like fumbled, where I'm just like,
You're just like, whoa.
yeah, like I was like,
she's
more
one. She's
startled.
one of those friends that you kind of always want at a performance of whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
you want her there because she will pierce through everything. And I tell my brother, I'm like, or one of our buddies, I'm like, hey, sorry what you're gonna have to go through right now. He's like, what do you mean? All right, everyone, welcome more to Chata. And she starts yelling, and my friend makes the cringiest face. And he's like, oh, fuck. I get what you mean now.
God, what is it, like a fucking banshee or something? Just
It's like that.
That
what's that?
loud,
Like
white girl
the crying lady.
You know how like when you hear,
Lariona?
this is the best way I can
It's
put it. Like,
that dude just,
you know when like a band is up on stage and they just finished the song and the people are still cheering and he starts talking in the mic. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? And you hear that really loud chick yell, like the girls yell.
Wait, which really loud
I
chick?
can't. But I mean, usually
You got to make the sound before me, man.
can't
You're
do the
like-
sound. Not only because my voice is fucked up in general because I'm sick, but I can't even comprehend how that yell would be. Like, it's just so.
I've probably made that noise
high-pitched.
before.
Or
Like, yeah, it's like
just a high pitch.
Like, I probably could have done it if my throat wasn't a little fucked up.
Is
But
it a
it's-
woo or a?
she goes woo like that, like really like energetic
Oh,
woo.
but
Super
like,
loud.
okay, so,
Like
woo
a
girl,
sport
yeah.
of the woo girl.
Woo
She's
girl,
like,
okay.
woo, like
Yeah.
fucking yeah.
Yes, but
Exactly
it's
like
super
that.
piercing. It's like so loud.
Like if you were to do that into the mic and you had
Oh,
earphones
man.
and it hurts your ears, that's how bad it hurts if she's standing about a foot away from you. So you better hope you're a little farther from her. But no, I love her to death, and she's a good sport. She's always gone out to a lot of Jesse's performances.
I just
Yeah.
love that we
That sounds like-
broke down every single yell to figure out which one it was. Now I can totally picture it. Fuck yeah.
Well, it sounds like Horchata has a lot of supporters. What can you tell me? Is there any differences between Jesse and Horchata?
There's really not too much of a difference because I try to stay pretty humble. I mean, back in the day, like old Horchata was very like bitchy, very mean.
Horchata
very, like,
fierce.
stuck
If you
up.
heard the last
Horchata
episode,
fierce.
yeah.
Fierce back in the day. But I mean, me now, I just try to be really chill. Like I try to like get to know everyone, the people at the clubs and stuff like that, because you never know who you're gonna meet, who is gonna invite you to be at their next show. Like, hey, like I have a show here at this club in this city. Like, I wouldn't mind if you came out and see how you do, and maybe the next time if the crowd likes you, will pay you. Because I mean, the club that I've been going to, I get paid every time I go. Like I'm one of those queens. I'm booked there, so I know when I ask to perform there, 95% of the time I'm gonna get paid. So I mean,
aside from the tip, of course. Like,
yeah, aside from the tips, like the actual
otherwise,
club is
that's just
paying.
called a tip spot.
Yeah.
You're
Nice.
you're kind of performing to get your name out there, and you're just whatever money you make in tip that you keep. But
Yeah. So I mean, for me, like now, I try not to like really be too. I guess when I'm not on stage, I'm still like the normal me, like sit there and chit chat, drink, and take shots. And yeah, I'm in this like horchata fierce look, like,
Yeah.
Not horchata fierce.
You're in
but
this
horchata like fierce like look.
Look,
You know, I'm sitting
yeah.
there doing my
Horchata
thing, like,
sitting
you
there
know,
looking fierce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feeling myself. I know I look right.
Horchata looking fierce. I love that. That's the new
Horchata
name right
looking
there.
Fierce. Not horchata fierce. Horchata's looking fierce.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like me on stage, obviously is way different.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Who is Horchata on stage?
She's that like I'm like look at me queen. Like I'm here. I'm on this stage. Like I'm not like, oh, pay me, like throw money at me, but I'm like,
you're all gonna have
I'm on like
attention
my
on
presence
me.
is very known. Like when I'm there, like all eyes on me, look at me. Like
So more like Beyonce or Mariah Carey?
I say Mariah Carey because, you know, when I do fuck up, I'll be like, fuck it, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go drink after.
Keeping it
Watch
real.
future shows you're going to be carried in.
Exactly. Let don't fall off though.
I'm sorry, boo. I can't stand Mariah Carey.
It's okay. Sometimes I can't either, but I still love her.
Dude, what can you tell? How about her New Year's performance? What do you think about that as a fan of?
I loved it.
I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys know. Even you know, Ratt.
Yeah.
A disaster
what,
of
though?
a
Like,
performance.
I know it was terrible
It was
because it was really terrible. And I guess she says her earpiece is the reason. And I kind of get it because, I mean, all the speakers face the audience. So, I mean, when you're on stage, like, you can't really hear what's really playing.
No,
'cause
yeah,
everything's-
you can't
there's
hear,
like
but
that sound delay.
the thing is though, you have to know your music. Like you can't
Yeah.
hear, but you can actually what you can hear is the bass, the kick.
Yeah.
You know, you can still hear the kick
Yeah,
echoing
it's
and
like,
everything.
I obviously, like, she's.
If you knew your music, you would know exactly.
Yeah.
I
like
think she's
where
afraid
the
of sounding
tempo-
bad.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I think that's what it is. Like, I
And
think
not
she's-
even just that performance, but who does those karaoke car rides? Whatever his name
James
is.
Corden.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
him.
She was on that and she didn't sing at all, and that was a good opportunity for her to prove like, hey, I
Yeah.
still
No,
got it.
she did
she
did
did
she did
too.
sing. She did
But not as much as everybody else does. She
Yeah,
kind of
and
half-assed it.
on well when she did the Christmas special with him
Mm-hmm.
like they did her All I Want for Christmas Is You, and she actually did way more singing in that one than when she was the first person to do carpool karaoke, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
on James Corden, and so like it was still kind of a new concept. So, but yeah, she did a lot more singing on the.
Still
on
want
the
more from her.
yeah,
I feel like she's kind of, I don't know. I think she's a little washed up. I'm
I feel
not
like
denying
she's
that
mellowing out. No, I understand. I feel like she's mellowing out from when she was younger because, like, when she first started out, like, all she would do was like sing like crazy, and everything was always like a cappella. She would never have no backtrack. It was like her and the band. That's all it would be, and like her backup singers.
So, what aspects would you put in your performance and like inspired by her, pretty much? Because you said when you kind of feel like that, like all eyes on you, but you're Mariah Carey as opposed to Beyonce. Like, what aspects do you bring to that in your
I
performance?
think for me, because I'm like I put thought and effort into what I'm doing. Not saying that Beyonce doesn't, but I know like Mariah's very like likes to be hands on with everything that's going on.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so I mean, like with me, I'm the same way. Like I want to know, like my music, my outfit, that everything's like a whole like process. It's just not like I just put on this random dress and I pick this random song out of my playlist and this is what I'm doing. So like for me, I like to have like a concept what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't like to really do like impersonations of like the artist that I'm doing. I like to do like similarities, like maybe like if they have long blonde hair, I'll wear long blonde hair because that's,
You
know,
channel their essence, but you're still
I like to
horchata.
channel them, but I don't like to look exactly like them because to me that's really hard. Like I don't have a face of like, oh, I look more like this artist. There is some queens that do Beyonce and Britney Spears and Christina and all these like crazy artists, and they maybe have done like plastic surgery to look like them, or they just have a face where they know how to do the makeup that it looks right.
Well, some queens, that's their gig. They'll do celebrity impersonation.
Yeah.
Chad
I'm
Michaels
not a
does
celebrity.
share.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a celebrity impersonator. I like to channel the celebrity that I'm doing, and
and make it your own. Like
and make it
you
my,
have
my
yeah,
own.
you have
I
your
like
own
put
thing
my
that you
own-
love
own
doing.
twist on it. Like I like to be original about it.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Like, everyone can do a Selena number and wear a Selena outfit with Selena hair, and they don't look like them, but they really tried hard to look like them. If I did
Yeah.
a Selena number, I wouldn't want to wear anything that she even. I mean, she has really good fashion when she was doing all her stuff, and maybe I would channel something.
Wear
like
something
that,
that's
wear
similar,
something
not
similar
in
to it.
a verbatim.
Like
Sparkly
maybe
like,
bustier.
Sparkly
Yeah.
bustier, like maybe
Mhm.
wear
Some
some
bra.
kind of like cow print. Like I would
change it
do
up.
my own thing.
Maybe like
Yeah.
do something similar, but don't like if you try to do it like piece for piece.
You-
because I've seen
it just
so
looks
many
worse
queens wear
'cause you're
that
trying to
same
do it
purple
too much.
bodysuit that she wears, and it's like
Oh,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
thousands of queen with that same
It's-
purple
it's-
bodysuit,
yeah.
the white bodysuit. Like
Because chicks have done
it's
that.
easy to do
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selena.
But
Chicks
you'll
do
do
Selena
horchata
impersonations, so-
inspired by
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
Best
Yeah.
way
Like
to
I
put it.
do
Or
my,
Chata inspired by Iggy, which is
Yeah, like when I do my Mariah Carey numbers, I like to wear a big curly wig, like from old school Mariah. Like I do old school Mariah. I don't do. I haven't done yet too much of her new stuff, but the old stuff that I've done is I do all her curly, like big hair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my like inspiration from Mariah. I like her old school curly hair, little tits.
I can dig that.
Yeah, that was my original like diva that I loved back then. I mean, I still love Mariah now, but that's who I fell in love with when I was this little kid.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, go
oh
ahead.
no, what were you gonna
No,
say?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna go into RuPaul's Drag Race talk, but what were you gonna say?
Oh, well, actually, I was gonna wrap it up.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what our time's at because I can talk all day about drag.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can actually do without that because we don't need to go into the whole.
Yeah, that's
publicity
more just
thing.
gonna
I
be
know.
hens clucking
I
about
know.
who's gonna be on season
Exactly,
9,
yeah.
who's gonna be on All Stars, and
The rumors.
Yeah, I'd like to end. I'd like to end it. We started with horchata. We're gonna end on horchata. That's how I think feel about it right now. Because you already brought up like having your own style and everything, bringing your own thing. You actually had your own mix made by your friend from where again?
oh, before we go into the mix, I'm sorry, you have a show coming up, don't you?
Yeah, February 6th.
February 5th, I think you
I
told
was
me.
actually gonna bring that up.
I'm
after
like,
Oh,
Yep.
I
just
mentioned
kidding.
the song. Thanks.
beach to the punch.
Yeah,
bruh.
thanks for cutting me off, dude.
I'm sorry, I thought you forgot.
No, I didn't.
I just want to make sure my good friend Horchata gets.
Anyway,
Plug your show.
yes,
Plug.
I know. I was getting to that.
All right, continue. Sorry, your show.
No, go ahead, go. Okay, so yes, you have a show coming up. That's that's the point that I was going to get to.
Yeah.
That you can hear the song at your show. You're going to be performing with this. When's the next time you're going to be performing? Where? What is it? Go ahead.
It is February 5th at Sea Friends in Reseda, California. And
You gotta spell that shit because it's
I know.
CFRENZ.
yeah,
To
Sea
make
Friends.
the emphasis on the sea friends.
Yeah,
Sea
Sea
Friends.
Friends.
Sea
with a
Friends.
Z.
I mean, there's a drag show there, so just say it
Yeah.
like you would. If
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With
If
the
someone
lisp.
was telling me with the list.
Yeah, this show on Sundays. See-
Hey, I think that's
Oh
funny
my
too.
God. It's so terrible.
So. My brother
Okay.
and his girlfriend make fun of me because I can do the lisp because it's just really just
It's
adding
funny.
a little more S, but it's funny.
yeah.
But the Sea Friends though.
Yeah, Sea Friends.
Sea
It's,
Friends.
Every other 2 weeks at Sea Friends, they have a show called Divas of the Valley. So that's what I'm a part of.
Okay.
So I'll be in it. The main host, her name is Mercedes Electra. That night it'll be Mercedes Electra as the host, Roxy Mountains, Keeks Rose, Poison Rose, and myself, and of course the host. So there's about 5 of us performing that night.
There you go.
Hell yeah, I want to go to that.
Yeah, show
Let's do it.
starts at
It's in
10
Rosetta.
ish.
Wait, when is it again?
10-ish?
February
10-ish.
February 5th,
Yes,
It's on a Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Sunday,
We're leaving
Sunday,
we're leaving
Sunday.
your birthday. Okay, yeah, so we can make that. We can probably
My birthday is the weekend
Mhm.
after.
Oh, okay.
yeah. We're
Nice.
going up to San
Hell
Luis
yeah.
anyway.
How old are you gonna be?
Maybe 23.
Oh,
Whoop.
Jordan year.
I remember 23.
Yeah.
I'll be 30 this summer, so I'm excited.
Ooh.
Dirty 30.
Ooh, there you go.
Dirty
Nice.
30.
Dirty 30.
All right. Anyway, so I said that I wanted to end on horchata. So this is the mix that you can hear when horchata performs. Again, catch her. What was it? Sea Friends
Sea
and
Friends.
Rosetta, right?
Rosita.
Rosita. That's how you pronounce it. So thank you guys for coming in. Thank
Dude,
you guys
Thanks for having us
Thanks for
back.
having
Yeah,
us.
shit was fun.
Yeah,
Good to finally actually hang out with Amanda again too for the podcast.
Yay!
Yeah, I know.
Happened.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, I was just thinking right now too. Like, yeah, I should probably wrap it. Like, this is ending on a good note. I think it was a really great, solid fucking podcast, and
Yeah,
it was a
fun.
really great episode.
Really,
So
I felt
thank
a
you
little
guys.
more, I felt the energy a little more. I'll be
Exactly.
honest, too.
Yeah, me too. It
No, I
felt
like
it felt really good. So thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you, my beautiful host, for being here.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna send it out on a good note. And this is Horchata's mix that you can hear whenever she performs. So be sure to catch her. All right, peace out.
Hit the club with bad bitches. Stack of hundreds, bunch of 50s.
Okay.
Super clean, shout get 'em. Hit the scene, kill shit, we in the murder business. I kill pride, I hurt feelings. Click, clack, bang, bang, we in the murder business. My outfit, the murder bitches. Click, clack, bang, bang, we in the murder business. Iggy, do it biggie. Tell them keep sending bottles, I'ma pop 50. These other bitches think they hot? Not really. She a broke hoe, that's how you know she not with me. Keep my heels on high, ride or die. 760 LI, ride and fly. I'm the guys on the truth, they decide to lie. They just divide their legs, I divide the pie. Now, nobody digging out hoes. When Iggy in the spot, they be Iggy out hoes. I'm cold, get in that thing. Kill bitches dead, click, clack, bang, bang. It's a murder business. Hit the club with bad bitches. Stack of hundreds, bunch of 50s. Super clean, shout get 'em. Hit the scene, kill shit, we in the murder business. The murder business, the murder business. Kill shit, we in the murder business. Black widow, I'm gonna love you until it hurts. Just to get you, I'm doing whatever works. You ain't never met nobody that'll do you how I do you. That'll bring you to your knees. Praise Jesus, hallelujah. Will make you beg for it, plead for it, till you feel like you breathe for it, till you do any and everything for it. I want you to fiend for it, wake up and dream for it, till it's got you guessing forever and you lean for it, till they have a case, get a check on your mind and it's nothing but me on it. Now it's me time, believe that. If it's yours and you want it, I want it. Promise I need that. Till I'm everywhere that you be at, I can't fall back or quick. Cause this is a fatal attraction, so I take it all or I don't want shit.
Hey, wait, could you hold on?
Everywhere I go, they say it's Iggy season. Just like it what I want, baby, I ain't leaving. Every time I go out, everybody wanna show me how to see a girl in the mirror. Told her you the reason. Simmer down, bitch. Iggy season. Simmer down, bitch. Iggy season. I ain't worried about shit. It's Iggy season. Bad bitches scream, yeah. It's Iggy season. Every man needs some Azalea. You want it, you do what I tell ya. Play on my team and get a ring back. You don't, you gon' end up a failure. I look like a fantasy, your wife, you mad at me. Just cause hubby is a fan of me, you understand me? So skip the talking, baby, we too busy ballin', baby. Pedal to the metal and my engine never stalling, baby. Just gon' hate while the critics critique. I pay them no mind whenever they speak. What they make a year, I can make in a week. I know you can't stand it, just get you a seat. See the sky be the limit when you're dealing with me. I'm stunning this hard and I ain't even reached my peak. I just get money, then spend it, let the cycle repeat.